All right. So what we'll do is, because since you're like fairly fresh, we'll this lesson will be more of a intro lesson, because I have to kind of make sure that we understand liquidity and we understand basically what's moving and driving the market. All right. So before we start that, let's just kind of lay the mental frameworks. All right. So first thing is to understand that above every high, right, there's buy side liquidity. Okay. Below every low, there's sell side liquidity. All right. You know, you're clear on what we mean when we say liquidity. Okay, cool. So simple stuff here, right? Now, in order for price to reprice lower, we have to take out buy side liquidity. In order for us to reprice higher, we have to take out sell side liquidity, right? So price reprice, if price wants to go lower, it's going to engineer liquidity, right? Neutralize it and then redeliver. Same thing here, engineers the liquidity, neutralizes it, redelivers, right? So this is a common factor within the market, right? Now, the other mental framework is that price moves from buy side liquidity to sell side liquidity. It creates imbalances and then it rebalances, all right? Are you familiar with fair value gaps and balances and things of that sort?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So we're gonna just leave those two here. There's tons more mental frameworks, but let's just kind of walk through this little phase. And actually, there's one more thing. All right. I also want you to understand that the market is only moving from stops to inefficiency. All right. And that term inefficiency and balance is just interchangeable. Right. So price goes from stops, inefficiency, back to stops. All right. It's a constant cycle. Stops, inefficiency.
Imbalances, fair value gaps, inefficiencies, it's all the same.
Yeah, same thing. It's just interchangeable terms. Same thing.
Okay.
All right. So what I mean by that is price, right? Let's say we're trading lower, it takes out stops, all right? Within this range somewhere, there's going to be an imbalance. So once it takes out the stops, it's going to trade to that imbalance, takes out stops, trades to the imbalance, takes out stops, trades to the imbalance, right? All the way until it meets some type of higher time frame array, all right? Now, what about when we say PD array? You understand that term?
Nope. Which one?
PD array. All right, it's fine if when I ask the questions, it's fine if you don't. I just want to make sure that I give you every bit of understanding you deserve.
Yeah.
So when you hear me say the term PD array, right? A PD array, which means premium or discount array. All that means is like, all that means is like a point of interest on the chart. All right. So SMC World took this and they termed it point of interest. All right. All this stuff was taken from ICT. All right. So PD array. All right. So there's multiple PD arrays. All right. Which are they're basically reference points on the chart or data points that the algorithm will reference as potential areas to cause a change in the state of delivery. All right. And you'll understand what that means. So a PD array, I'm going to just give you 3 of the main ones. And then as we progress, we'll add to this list. All right. So initially, what you have is your order block. Your fair value gap. Right. And your old higher low. All right. And out of all of those, the one that will literally override everything is the fair value gap. All right. The inefficiency is the single most important thing in price. Literally. Okay. Now, so just to walk back through these few things, Above every high is buy side liquidity. Below every low, sell side liquidity. If price wants to reprice lower, it will have to collect buy side liquidity. If price wants to reprice higher, it will have to collect sell side liquidity. All right. The common cycle between price is that price moves from buy side liquidity to sell side, right? Or this could be vice versa. It creates imbalances along the way, and then it aims to rebalance those areas, and then that process starts over and over again. All right. Now let's walk through a little example, and we'll come back and we'll add more things, and then we'll get into the bulk part of the session.
And just with the PD array, so the order block, fair value gap, old high, low, they are always in a premium or discount. Like that's what has to be there to even like consider it maybe as an entry zone.
Yes, exactly. So basically, by saying PD array, here's the thing: you have to know what areas on the chart are areas that could provide price the potential to change stated delivery. All right. So as traders, we technically only care about a few points, which are this area, this area, this area, this area. Why is that? Because at these areas, that is where price is changing its state of delivery, right? CSD, right? You'll hear me say that term a lot, change in the state of delivery. What that means when I say that is simply that price was delivering here, buy side, and then at this very point, it changes its state of delivery, right? Same thing over here, offering sell side, and then we change states of delivery, right? Now, if you think about it, at these points, right, what do you think is going to be here? Down close candle, up move, right? Up here, you're going to have up close candle, down move, right? So what I'm depicting to you here is that the order block is the change in the state of delivery, right? That's how the algorithm communicates that, okay? So as traders, we only care about these 3 points, right? Now, what's going to happen is at these 3 points, price is going to be trading into one of these arrays right here, one of these PD arrays, all right? So if you think about this point here, a second ago, I told you that price trades from where? Stops to inefficiency, inefficiency to stops, right? Over here, all right? We trade stops to imbalance, imbalance to stops. So if you look here, above this point, if I draw this line over, above that point is going to be what?
Stops.
Yeah, stops, right? Buy side liquidity. All right. So now, if we take out stops, we're going to trade back and seek what?
We'll search the inefficiencies on the way up, on the way up.
Yes, exactly, right? So we take out stops, then we're going to come back and retrace, and price is going to seek an inefficiency, all right? Which that inefficiency is here, right? So we'll just write fair value gap. Then it's going to go from fair value gap. So it's going to change states of delivery here. It's going to go from fair value gap, and it's going to now seek what?
Stops.
Exactly, stops, right? Buy side.
Again, from buy side, yeah.
Exactly. Right? Now, so it's just about understanding, right, that these arrays provide potential or potential CSD, which is here, right? It's a little mental map.
And do you switch then in between like different time frames to find this area? Because sometimes like in 2 minutes you can see it, 4 minutes you can't. So it's like a little game of like where it's the cleanest, right?
Yeah. You'll get that. So one of the things you have to understand is that price is fractal. All right. So
Yeah.
with me drawing this line chart, right? This is point A. This is point B.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what time frame I pull up,
True.
right? Price is still going from point A to point B, correct? Correct. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So, you know, before you get into candles, time frames, and all of that stuff, what you have to understand is that the candlestick is nothing but a visual representation of price going from point A to point B. And the reason I have to point that out is because sometimes, as traders, especially in our beginner stages, we get caught up into, well, what time frame do you look at the most, right? And I say I'm not a time frame guy. I'm a price delivery guy, because I understand that rather I'm looking at a 5-minute or 4-minute or an 8-minute chart, 15 3-hour chart, price is still going from point A to point B. Okay, so we have to understand that first, which is why I say that we don't trade key levels, we trade the response at key levels. So like when price is trading down to this fair value gap, remember earlier I stated that these arrays provide price with the potential to change states of delivery, right? Not a guarantee, a potential. So if we know that there's only potential, then we have to do a little more legwork. All right. Yeah. So where a lot of beginner traders fail, all right. Beginner and I guess master, right? A lot of beginner traders fail is by trading key levels. All right. You might say, well, shouldn't I trade key levels? No, you shouldn't. You should realize that a key level only provides the potential, right? A master level trader is going to identify that key level, right? And he's going to tape read that key level, and he's going to trade the response. All right. And the response that you're going to learn in this program is learning how to identify a high probability pricing sequence that equates to a change in state of delivery. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Okay. So now let's kind of walk through this just so I can make sure that you understand the whole idea behind liquidity and how price moves and why it comes back to certain areas. All right. But keep these few things in mind, that price literally is trading from stops to imbalance, imbalance to stops. All right. And then we have these three main arrays, right? And as we progress, we'll build on those arrays. The other thing to keep in mind is this little mental model right here, because this is important, right? That price moves from buy side liquidity to sell side liquidity, creates imbalances, and then it rebalances. Okay. Now, let's imagine that you work for a big, the central bank. All right. What we got to understand is that the central bank, say this is the central bank, right? The central bank is a storefront. Okay. Any storefront has products, and the storefront determines at which price they're going to sell those products, right? So if the central bank is a storefront, then, and they sell products, which is, their product is the banknote, then obviously the central bank determines what the banknote is going to be sold for. All right, now why is that important? That's important because we should understand that there is no buying and selling pressure within the market. Like when the market is moving up, it's not because everybody just hit a buy button. All right, this stuff is already priced in. All right. So just remember, central bank sells banknotes. And if they're a storefront, they determine which price they're going to sell these banknotes for. So it's all manipulated. These markets are highly manipulated for this very reason. All right. So let's imagine you work for the central bank and you're a market maker, or you work for whoever is the market maker company, or however to say it, right? So anyways, all right, let's just draw this chart, y-axis and x-axis. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and let's imagine that you come into work and they say, how do you pronounce your name again, bro?
Dorian.
Oh, Dorian, okay. All right, so you come in and they say, hey, Dorian, right? Right now, price is floating around 2.5, all right? Now, Dorian, we really want to get price, we want to drive the banknotes up to 6, all right? We understand you're a very good market maker. We just want you to do your thing, all right? What are you going to do?
First, I would, yeah.
You got it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If first I would go up a bit, so everybody thinks it's going pretty much like up in a straight line, and then I would probably go down again. Like I would, like, you know, like back and forth, basically. What's the mark doing? Because it's not going in a straight line.
Mm-hmm. So we went up a little bit. Now we're going down. Where are we going down to?
It probably would be too easy to go. I mean, you could go below, yeah. Just go back to 2.
Okay. And then what are we doing at 2?
Then I would go above the opening, but below the high.
Okay. So
And then one more time.
One more time, you said?
One more time, I would go below 2, and then I would shoot to 4. Yeah, and then shoot to 4.
Okay, cool.
So
right.
So basically, I would say I took liquidity there from the low below.
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. Right. Cool. All right. So we'd come to 2, right? We'd accumulate. So this is when you ever heard the term power of 3?
Yeah.
All right.
Market maker model.
Yeah. So power of 3, right? Accumulate, manipulate, distribute. So what you're doing here at this very first phase, what you're doing is you're accumulating.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you're accumulating buy stops, sell stops, right? And let's just imagine you come here twice. You create like a double bottom, right? Mm-hmm. You have support resistance traders, right? You create that double bottom, right? Maybe you induce this high right here,
mm-hmm.
right? Because obviously there's going to be breakout traders, right? So you induce that high, right? Then
one more time,
right? So we drop price down to discounts, right? Maybe down to 1, right? And then boom. Right? So earlier we stated that price, by bringing this little mental map down here, we stated that price moves from buy side to sell side, or it can move from sell side to buy side, right? You see this happening right here? We just moved from sell side to buy side, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It creates imbalance in doing that, right? You also learned that price. Go ahead.
So we're coming back one more time. It's like I would call it a retest in the.
Yeah. So now
in the accumulation zone, or like the range, however you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we create that imbalance. Right. Next step is for us to rebalance. Right. Now, what's happening, of course, is when you as the market maker make this move here, all right, you're sending price lower pretty fast. you're kind of just consider this like a sacrificial move, right? So you're holding on to short positions, all right? And once you get to your desired price, market turns around. Now you have these buy positions, but you're also carrying a bit of those negative short positions because now those positions are negative, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this move here, you unloaded so many buy positions, right? You ran out these sell stops. You understand why we call these sell stops?
Because you sell your long position, because
Yeah.
before you went long, you bought,
Exactly. Exactly. Right.
and now
Anybody
you're
that's
selling them off
long,
again in the market.
yeah, basically what they're doing is selling, right? So these guys are selling their loans, we're buying them up. All right. So now, of course, you don't want to carry those negative positions to 6 because boss is going to be mad. So now what you're going to do is you're going to come back, right? Offload these. I'm sorry, I should draw it in red. You're going to offload those negative positions. All right. And then we're going to probably reaccumulate one more time. Now we're on our way to 6, right? Okay. So what we see here, right, and this area, of course, is our inefficiency, right? We just rebalance that inefficiency, and then we trade it higher. Everybody got. All right. What this is right here is a dealing range. All right, this delivery here is a dealing range. Okay. Which brings me to the bulk part of this lesson. Okay. So when it comes to dealing ranges, it's less about the pattern and more about understanding the delivery. All right. This one understanding here is literally what changed so many things for me, right? So let's talk about dealing ranges, right? So by definition, a dealing range is a sweep of buy side liquidity and sell side liquidity. Okay.
Well, both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Similar to what we see here. All right. So basically, price will accumulate. It will take out sell stops, take out buy stops. Then what it'll do is it'll rebalance.
Okay.
All right.
Then afterwards you can define it as a dealing range. That has to happen first. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Smart guy. Smart guy. So let's bring this to let's bring this down here for a second. I want to talk about this. All right. So if you pay attention to this area, I mean this little mental map here, we say that price trades from stops to inefficiency. All right. Now this is characteristic of trending markets.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's imagine, we didn't get a chance to see the rest of this price scale, right? But let's imagine that, obviously it's like this, right? If you look over here, price is literally trading stops to inefficiency, stops to inefficiency, stops to inefficiency, stops to inefficiency, right?
Mm-hmm.
This very last displacement lower, obviously there's going to be an inefficiency on this side of price, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And so let's kind of redraw that right here. This is the inefficiency. If price is still bearish, then we should see it come back up into this inefficiency, under that inefficiency, and then go from inefficiency back to stops, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If we are to see price come up to the inefficiency, and then there's a body closure, basically negating that inefficiency. Well, if we refer back to this mental map, price has just said, screw the inefficiency, and it only leaves one other option. Stops, right? Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So you would need a candle close in that case above the inefficiency.
Yes.
So okay, candle close, not wick.
All right. Yeah, candle close, not wick. Exactly. So for us, this is a market structural shift. You don't need market structure like this. This is subjective,
That's the biggest
right?
bullshit.
Biggest bullshit, I promise you. Because
Yeah,
here's why.
too
Like
late.
let's refer back to this map up here. Now, if you look here, this point right here, that's market structure, right? The orange spot that I just highlighted,
Yeah,
that's market structure, correct? All right. Well, if that's market structure and price is just broken that, well, then this is only the effect, right? But that's the effect. It has to be a cause. Where's the cause?
and,
Here, right? So this is after the fact. I need to be engaged in the fucking cause, right? I need to be able to understand what the cause is, okay? Which is what the whole makeup of this mentorship is getting you to understand what goes into the cause. And one of the main factors is this, all right? Understanding that price literally has two options, stops inefficiency. The moment this candle closes that inefficiency, it literally just said, screw the inefficiency. Now I'm concerned about stops, all right? So if we come back to this, this market maker model that you are engaged in, right? If you look at this, price trades down and takes out stops, comes here, candle closes over that inefficiency, all right? That is literally for us a market structural shift. All right. Now, once we get to the part of you learning the actual entry model, you'll learn the next steps. All right. But that for us is a market structure shift. And then now you see price take out stops here. And then it goes back into flow of stops to inefficiency, right? We go inefficiency. We're probably going to take out these stops. Let me just draw this. So we're probably going to take out those stops, inefficiency there. And then another expansion, and we make it all the way to 6.
just two questions here.
Mhm.
So first of all, you can't see my mouse, can you?
No, I can't.
Okay, doesn't. So you have the dollar signs, and to the right of it, like with the red and the blue, you made the low. So, and then the price comes up to like the fair value gap, and normally now you would look for shorts, but since like the price goes above, pretty much you're out because you haven't long down there because it didn't make any sense because we are like in a downtrend kind of, right? So then you would only look for to find an entry again would be after you made the up movement, and then you would wait for the fair value gap. So in
Yes. Mm-hmm.
all that between, you pretty much do not take a trade with your model, right? Because it's like it's guessing.
Exactly. So wait, what was the last part? Say the last part again.
So you would basically just wait after we took the buy side liquidity, so price goes more up, and then it comes down to the fair value gap, and that's then actually when you are looking for entries again. Before that, like this big up move, you just basically miss it with your model because you say, yeah, I mean, I could not enter long because there was not really
Well, no,
a signal. It would have been a guesswork.
I'd say yes and no, because what you're going to learn is how to actually play a part in this.
After, okay.
Right? This would be more so a skill in a second entry.
Right?
Right? Just
second entry. Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to understand how to play a part in this. All
okay.
right. So
cool.
Let me show you. So watch this. So there's going to be a candle here, a candle here, and another candle here. Okay. This middle candle is the candle that houses the imbalance, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, when price trades above the imbalance, let's say the imbalance, let me draw this in difficult. Let's say the imbalance is here. When price trades above that imbalance, all right, it closes above that imbalance, right? And then also closes, let's say, let me give you a better scenario. Let's say the high of this candle is here, all right? So price just closed in the imbalance, right? That's literally step one. The very next step is when price trades above the high of the candle that offers the imbalance. When it trades above the high of the candle that offers the imbalance, that validates the order block.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what do we say the order block is over here? The order block is the
one of the three.
Change in state of delivery. All right. So remember that the order block is the change in state of delivery. Now, if the order block is the change in state of delivery, and right here, price, we just validated the order block, okay? Well, instead of us taking that for face value, why this system works so well is because the very next thing we're gonna do, instead of taking an entry right now, we're gonna say, hey, algorithm, prove to me that that order block is a true change in state of delivery and that it's actually gonna hold up, right? So the very next step is we wanna wait and we want to see price deliver back down into that order block, right? No entries yet, okay? Because any entry right now is guesswork, okay? We enter when the algorithm proves to us that this order block is actually going to hold up, right? At what point does it prove that to us? Here. When price trades back above these down close candles, at this very moment, it has just proven to us that this down close candle, these down close candles here, this order block, it has just proven to us that that order block is a true change in state of delivery, right? Why? Because down close candles are now supporting the direction of price. Does that make sense? So your entry would literally come at this very moment, right? Way before market structural shift.
And it doesn't even need a close with the last candle, like just like you
Just
do a
very
market order while it happens, pretty much.
Yes, yes. At the very moment.
Cool.
Right. What you got to understand is watch this. Now, this is the next thing I'm going to get to. One of the most important things about, or for traders to understand, is institutional order flow. All right. The market is nothing but a compilation, if you look here, of buy and sell programs. All right. Now, I just made this a linear chart. All right. But what you got to understand is this is technically a market maker sell program, right? Smart money reversal would be here, all right? Price trades here. This becomes a buy program, smart money reversal, smart money reversal, smart money reversal, all right? Price stops and efficiency, stops and efficiency, stops and efficiency, makes it to the array, right? Manipulates, trades here, stops and efficiency, stops and efficiency, stops, manipulates that low, trade stops to stops, reversal, inefficiency, stops, inefficiency, right? Fast move, leaves behind imbalance, stops, inefficiency, stops, inefficiency.
The stops to stops, that's what always pretty much fucked me, because like when I was trading, actually most of the times I had the right direction, but since it was from stop to stop, basically I got stopped out on any side, and I was like, yeah, goodbye, and then it went off without me and retail.
That usually happens when you trade, when you just try to trade a level and you're guessing instead of allowing price to tell you. It's like here, going through this process, this is us allowing price to literally tell us what's truly going on. So understand this, because the market is nothing but a compilation of buy and sell programs, right? There's always a sell side of the curve.
The buy side.
Exactly. And the buy side of the curve. All right. Now, what's important about that? On the buy side of the curve, what's going to happen is up close candles are going to support the direction of price, right? So price is going to have a very hard time trading through up close candles. And it's going to have a very easy time trading through down close candles. All right. On the buy side of a curve, down close candles are going to be supporting price. All right. And up close candles are going to be easily run out. They're going to be what we call low resistant liquidity runs. All right. So this is one of the single most important pieces here. Because if you take this, it's going to be happening. That is an up close candle. That's going to be an up close candle trading in this is that up close candle, right? This is going to be an up close candle trading to this up close candle. This is going to be an up close candle trading into that up close candle. This one trades into that one, right? This one into that one, right? And then at this point, this up close candle gets taken out, right? Right here. Okay. So now guess what? There's going to be.
And that's always the so-called order block we take as a shot and get fucked. Yeah.
So now guess what? There's going to be a down close candles right here, right? Think about it. Price just took out an up close candle. It's coming back. And at this moment, it's being supported from a down close candle, right? Right here. So these down close candles right here are basically trading into this down close candle. So think about cause and effect. Price takes out an up close candle and is supported by a down, and the down close candle shows up for work. Well, what does that say about institutional order flow? It has changed over, right? That we're now on this buy side of the curve. How do I know that? Know that because the rule is that on the buy side of the curve, up close candles will be taken out, down close candles will support price. Right? I can show you that 1,000 times on the chart. Let's actually look at it on the chart.
So with the specific order blocks, I'm sure that that's something you will show later at some point.
Yeah, we'll go
in the other weeks.
Everything right now, right? I'm going to encourage you to just be patient because there's a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Before we get to the, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of understanding that needs to be refined because there's a lot of bad information out here. All right. The order block that's the easy shit. Like when it comes to the order block and the entry model, that shit is easy, right? I could go and give a random guy the entry model, he would still fail. Why? Because narrative, there's two things. There's narrative and then there's context. All right. What happens is everybody focuses on lower time frame context, right? I want to know how to enter. I want to know how to get the tightest stop. But guess what? Narrative overrides context, right? So you could have the perfect context if narrative if narrative doesn't support that context, right? Lost. All right. So everything we're focused on right now has to do with narrative and foundation. Because once it comes to the entry model, that is literally cookie cutter. You're just doing the same shit every time. The same thing every time. That's not hard. What's hard is knowing what market condition I'm in, right? And what I should be trading with and what I should not be trading against. And that's where a lot of people fail. All right. And one of the biggest things you can do for yourself is understanding that there's a sell side of the curve, there's a buy side of the curve. On the sell side of the curve, what are we going to see supporting price? Up close candles. Look at this. Up close candles are basically holding up. What's easily being taken out? Down close candles. Right? Price has no regard for down close candles. Right? Every down close candle that rests at a swing point, price trades right through it. Every up close candle that rests at a swing point, price respects it. Do you see that? Here, right? This is just liquidity sweep. That's liquidity sweep. I'm going to give you a rule for that, right? Up close candles are supported. Up close candles are supported. Up close candles, right? And then what happens is price trades into.
We just go back a second to the one before. Sorry.
Here.
And what where you put the two red crosses? What was that?
I might have been on a daily chart. It might have been on
The daily red.
Yeah, I believe I was on a daily chart.
I still can't see my mouse. It's on May. So on May, you basically made this low, exactly. Then you made another low, and then price first like ran the stops, and it went up first. So for me, I would just say exactly this one. Yeah, exactly that. When it goes above here, I would already think like that there was a shift again, because it went above the little high before and like above the
why would it need to go above that high? What rests above that high?
To run the stops to gain liquidity. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is why market structure is bullshit. Literally.
Yeah.
Even here, look, market structure is bullshit. All right. Institutional order flow is everything. Now, I told you, you might say, hey, Chris, I thought you said in the sell side of the curve, up close candles should be respected. Well, right here, price is taking out up close candles. Fine. Let me tell you this. There's
exactly.
there's two things. There's either stop plant or change in order flow. How do we decipher between a stop plant and a change in order flow? All right, we know that on the sell side of the curve, up close candles are going to basically be held up, right?
Yeah.
Now, right here, price takes out up close candles. That's fine. All right. The way we decipher between a stop plant or a change in order flow is the candles that are taken out. All right. There's going to be an origin, right? So basically, these down close candles would be the origin of sending price to take out these up close candles. Are you with me?
Yeah.
All right. Now, if up close candles are taken out and down close candles show up for work, right? Meaning that price trades to down close candles after taking out up close,
it needs to hold.
After trading to down close, it causes price to basically trade higher and create a new high. Then at that point, that is a change in institutional order flow, right?
Okay. Yeah.
In this case, we take out up close candles and then boom.
So basically that order block failed.
Yeah.
To support. Exactly. All right. That's what you said earlier. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. And so basically, like as you can see, right, price is headed down. It's trying to make its way to the quarterly inefficiency that I'm going to show you here in a second. All right, but what you can see is institutional order flow is bearish, right? Sell side of the curve. Now, this black line is denoting a quarterly inefficiency. It makes it to that inefficiency, and I want you to watch what happens, right? So we come here, failure swing, we take out an up close candle, right? Not market structure, an up close candle. I'm not focused on this part. I'm not focused on that. I'm just focused on the candle. All right. We take out an up close candle. Remember, that's step one. And for us to confirm that this is not just a liquidity sweep, what do we have to see?
Look at the origin of what caused the high.
Exactly. Down close candles show up for work, right? But basically, it causes price to continue to make new highs.
Yeah.
All right.
Would you call anything like that like the retest, or is it like just another wording?
Yeah, you can say retest, but I mean, a lot of people get caught up into terminology, and I always say it's not about the terminology. It's not about like I could make up a ton of cute fancy names and get people to buy shit,
You
And it
should.
means nothing. You know, it means nothing. What matters is that you understand this stuff conceptually.
Yeah. All right.
So
Cool.
retest, retest, rebalance, redeliver, fuck it, same shit. Right?
Mhm.
What matters is that I understand logic, cause and effect, you know. But yeah, you can call this a retest, you can call it a rebalance, you know, same thing. But you know, what's officially happening is we're going stops, right? Trading down, we're rebalancing this range. We're trading to down close candles because we're now negating up close candles. All right. If you look here, what happens? We take out stops, price is going to reprice where?
The inefficiency.
And then we
And
go from
that's
inefficiency.
nice. I love it,
So
man, because that's when I had actually my best trading, when I was with somebody who did like retests. It's basically what you do with the inefficiency. But since like I was not explained when it makes sense, so I just used it all over the place. And as you said, it doesn't work all over the place. It has to work in your zones, in your
you
yeah.
have to have some type of mental frameworks
Yeah,
that guide you, right? As opposed to just jumping into a
exactly.
chart. And you know, and that's the context part. That's why I say narrative will override context. All right. So let me give you these few
It's
pieces.
true.
Let me give you these few pieces in regard to dealing ranges. Typically, what the first session usually is we go into dealing ranges, and that whole session is a study of dealing ranges, right? And but for the sake of, I just kind of had to fill out where you are. But honestly, bro, you're sharp. Like you understand a lot of shit. You pick up on this shit fast. I love it. All right. What I'm gonna do right here, I'm just gonna give you a few insights into dealing ranges, right?
Hmm.
And next session, we'll literally start that session. We'll cover dealing ranges in its entirety. All right. So a dealing range is a sweep of both buy side and sell side liquidity. All right. So it's just like up here. At this point, like you stated, you have step one, step two, right? Now we have a dealing range. So it's not a dealing range, and you stated this earlier, until you have steps one and two. All right. Then you understand that step three is just a matter of rebalancing. All right. So retracement. So let me give you this mental framework. Retracements are paired with imbalance. Reversals are paired with stops. Retracements lead to continuations. So going back to our model right here, right? When price closed above that imbalance, that means that it's not paired with an imbalance. So it rules out the chance of this being a retracement. And then our mind slowly switches to this is potential reversals. By the way,
Okay.
stops. If this were a retracement like this, retracements are paired with imbalance. Retracements lead to continuations. See that? Right? So just all this is just mental frameworks. I promise you, this stuff will help you so much. All right, it's one big puzzle. You'll be able to put the pieces to the puzzle together so well before you ever start trying to decode all of the little intricate pieces of price.
It
But
definitely know what I already see. Like it makes way more sense than to use more higher time frames, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, which I pretty much never do, but to get like a feeling actually. Like
oh yeah,
if you're on the way to get some stops or on the way to like just imbalances, and then on the 1-2 minute you can find some entries to go that direction. Like
yeah. So let me tell you, when I come into a week, I literally start. I start on a quarterly chart, 3-month chart. I go to a monthly chart, then a daily chart. Right. What you got to understand is that price is fractal. All right. Whatever's happened on this lower time frame, right, is only happening as a means of
mm,
some higher time frame objective. right? Bingo. All right. So whatever's happening inside of here is only happening as a means of fulfilling this objective. So I have to know what the objective is from a higher time frame perspective. This might be my 3-month chart. This might be my 1-month chart. Weekly, daily, and then lower time frame is inside. So I have to know what's going on here first. Otherwise, I'm just basically allowing myself to be a sitting duck because I'm just trading in free space. Right? I never come into a week and not know where the most probable draw of liquidity is. Because price always has an objective. All right. Then we get into applying power of 3 and all that stuff. This model right here, this could be one whole weekly profile. This could be a 1-minute chart, right? This could be a weekly chart. This could be anything, right? Doesn't rule out the notion of power of 3, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. This could be Monday. This drop could be Tuesday low of week, right? This expansion could be, this could be Tuesday low of week in reversal. This retracement could be Wednesday, right? This next expansion could be Thursday, right? And then Friday, gives a little more of the move. This could be anything. But what it's about price delivery, right? I could draw, we're probably going to save the dealing range for next session. I could draw this, watch this. I could draw this candle here. Add some color to it. All right. Now, this here these are the 3 candles, right? But when I say it's about price delivery, this is what I mean. This is equivalent to, if I were to draw this very first candle, it opens, right? Creates a little high, creates a little low, right? Trades back up, and then it closes. The next candle opens, creates a little high, right? Trades lower, all right? Trades back higher, then it closes. The next candle opens, trades higher, right? And then rejects backwards, right? What do you see happening here?
I'll stop run basically, and then back to the imbalance, and then off we go again.
Exactly, right? In the very last candle, opens, expansion, right? Think about this. This first candle created a high and a low, didn't it? The very first candle creates a high and low. Right? Price ran out sell stops and it ran out buy stops. By definition, this gives us a what?
Dealing range, yeah, sure.
Dealing range, right?
Yeah.
I could take these candles right here, and I could move this to, let me resize this. I can move these to here, and that's the same thing, right? Right? Very first candle is that little accumulation. The next candle runs out the sell stops. Third candle, so right here where we take out the highs, and that wick is coming down to rebalance. And then the last candle is the expansion taking us to 6. Can you see that? All right. So, usually by, during the most sessions, by this time, we already be well inside of dealing ranges. We'll start the next session off with that. I'll give you 2 examples from last week, 3 examples from last week, actually within one day. That shit is everywhere. So we'll go to Tuesday. It's April 23rd. Cool. All right, the first one is here. So remember this, price will engineer liquidity, it will neutralize it, then it will redeliver. Okay. ICT says it engineers liquidity, neutralizes, redelivers. All right. So whenever you're taking a trade, if you can't mentally go through that process of seeing it, like if you can't see, all right, there's been liquidity engineered and neutralized. If you're not able to say that, then you leave the probability of you becoming the part of being neutralized, right? So if you look here, engineers liquidity, right? It's a little accumulation. This is you. Hey, Dorian, we want to get price to 6, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. Dorian want to get price to 6. All right, bet. Accumulate, right? Engineering liquidity, the sell stops, run out sell stops, right? Run out buy stops. Earlier, I told you we run out sell stops to buy stops. We create imbalance, and then we do what? We rebalance. Price trades from stops to inefficiency. Boom. Taking out those stops. You see that?
That always looks so easy in hindsight. Yeah.
So here it is one more time. Watch this, right? Price engineers liquidity. There's a high and there's a low. Right? Takes out buy stops, takes out sell stops, right? Remember, price trades from stops to where?
Imbalance up.
Imbalance.
Yeah.
Right? From imbalance, it goes stops. Right? Engineer the liquidity, engineer it, neutralize it, redeliver. Trading from buy side liquidity to sell side liquidity, creating imbalance, and then rebalancing. Right? Create the imbalance, rebalance. Guess what? Even over here, engineers liquidity. Right now, this is all a part of the rebalancing phase for this dealing range. All right, and we haven't went through dealing ranges completely yet. I'm just giving you this is basically just a bonus piece of this foundational lesson. But 1, 2, remember 3 is rebalance. So you already know as a trader, okay, cool, this is a dealing range. Price is going to rebalance this dealing range, but guess what it does? Price is fractal, so it creates a dealing range inside of a dealing range, right? What does it do? Engineers liquidity, neutralizes it, right? And then redelivers. Guess what? Price trades stops, balance, back to stop. See that? Guess what? We meet a higher time frame array. So I told you that price will trade stops to imbalance at least until it meets the objective. It goes stops, imbalance, stops, imbalance, stops, imbalance, stops. Oh shit. What happened to the imbalance right here? That body closure?
Above, so we go up, yeah.
Watch this. Let me go to lower time frame. Let me show you my entry. All right, so now we meet a higher time frame PD array. Remember, the PD arrays come first. Then you start tape reading. So let me show you what this was a previous week's low. All right, this level right here was a previous week's low. All right. So price was working. It's Tuesday. Tuesday, 80% of the time, Tuesday will set the higher low of the week. Okay. Now,
how much price that?
It's about an 80% chance that Tuesday or Wednesday will set the higher low of the week. So every time I come into a week, I'm always thinking Tuesday or Wednesday, right? I'm always thinking power of three, where that power of three, Monday is like my accumulation. Tuesday is my manipulation, or Wednesday, right? Reversal, stops, and efficiency. Efficiency, stops, right? Market maker buy model, smart money reversal, buy side of the curve, down close candle. What was that?
It reminds me of the Beat the Market Maker. What's his name? Steve, whatever. You know him?
I think I've heard of it, but I might have came across it in my day.
Yeah.
It might not have stuck out to me. I'm not sure. I think BTMM.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm familiar with it. I think I heard about it.
Some crazy cocaine guy. Oh, he seems.
But if you look here, right? So we make it through the previous week's low, all right. And then once you learn about time, you understand this is a London offset, all right. So time and price is on our side, right? London is offsetting their short positions, all right, to willing sellers, because they want to. Only way to offset, they have to buy, right? And if they're buying, there has to be somebody else on the other side of that contract. So if you look here, price trade stops, and it says screw the imbalance, right? Screw the imbalance, trades above the candle that offers the imbalance. That's my order block. Hey, algorithm, prove to me that this order block is a true change in state of delivery. All right, bet. Down close candle trades into it. Price trades above a down close candle, right? Remember, on the sell side of the curve, up close candles are supporting the direction of price, right? Down close candles are easily taken out. On the buy side of the curve, down close candles support price, up close candles are easily taken out, right? Right here, price proves to us that this down close candles are supporting price. We enter literally right here. Stops go here. This trade had the potential to be like a 1 to 15. So stops here. And this shit went crazy. It was like,
especially then you can finally enter with confidence, man. I entered so often at spots like that, the confidence was like zero.
nah, it'll change for you, bro. Look at this shit. 1 to 11. But I mean, you don't even need that. You consistent 1 to 3s with about a 50, 60% win rate. You're off to the races. That's the thing. People think you gotta have a 100%, 90% win rate. No, you don't. That's stupid. All you need in trading is a 50, 60% win rate, right? 60%, 50% win rate at 1 to 3. Think about it. You take 10 trades. If you win 5 of those 10 trades, that's 15R minus the 5R. That's 10R. That's 10% if you're risking 1%. It's 10% at the end of those 10 trades. So, you know what I mean? You got to change the paradigm, man. I think this space has been so screwed up because people have the wrong ideas about what it takes, and then they go down rabbit holes that don't really need to be visited. I tell people the worst thing you can do is to do something efficiently that you don't even need to do at all, because it's just wasted time at that point. Like, you really wasted time, So next lesson, bro, we'll dive into the dealing ranges, and then we'll carry on just like we do the traditional way with every other client. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the right track in terms of the foundational pieces.
Cool. Thanks a lot. That was amazing. So like I told you, I have since I'm basically not working, I have time, tons of time. Do you have like kind of like, you know, like homework for me, or like some of
Yeah.
the videos you've posted where you should be like, man, if you have time and watch this, do that, like, you know,
Yeah,
because like you said, I don't want to, obviously now with so much times on my head, it's like I don't want to start doing like not like the wrong shit, but like you said, unnecessary bullshit. Like I want to know now finally what I'm doing instead of just doing something because I feel like I have to do something, you know.
yeah. What I would do is this, like, this is my take. You know, you're at this point, bro, listen, you'll never ever look for more education after this. So from my perspective, I'm saying, hey, bro, watch this lesson multiple times, right? Whatever we talked about in this lesson, you got a few things, especially with institutional order flow. If I'm you, I'm taking a whole week and I'm trying to master that idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Because what I find is if when you be patient and you master one thing at a time, right, then the learning is much more efficient as opposed to trying to get it and then, all right, I study it for 24 hours, now I'm ready for the next thing. You know, it never works out that way, right? Trust me, I took 7 years to realize that shit. You know, until you slow it down and you're like, all right, cool. This week, this is all I'm focused on. Because you got to learn how to study, you know, to make this shit stick. So if I'm you right now, I'm just going through, I think this week's group session, I think you said you woke up a little late. If I'm you, go watch that group session and watch this. I would literally only watch those two videos until the next session. And for homework, I want to give you homework in regard to dealing ranges, but we haven't really, like, we briefly, but I want to give you the official lesson on it. You can go and look for them, but if I'm you, I would just take this week and just study up. After next week, I'll give you official homework.
Cool.
All right. Cool, man. Well, I'll send you this recording. It should render in probably the next 15 minutes.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Hey, thank you a lot. You have a good one, huh? Enjoy your day.
All right. Bye-bye.